I always thought my brother Liam had good judgment until the night his fiancée accused me of stealing her engagement ring. That dinner changed everything, not just the engagement celebration we'd planned, but our entire family dynamic. My name is Lily, and I'm the oldest of 4 siblings. We've always been close, the kind of family that shares everything and has each other's backs. At least that's what I thought until Clara came into our lives. I saw you admiring it earlier, Clara said, her voice trembling in a way that now seems so rehearsed. And when I went to show Mom after dessert, it was gone. Her eyes, wide with perfectly timed tears, locked onto mine across our parents' dining room table. I nearly choked on my wine. What are you talking about? The ring, Lily. My engagement ring. Clara's hand clutched Liam's arm. I took it off while helping with the dishes because I didn't want to get soap in the setting. When I came back, it was gone. The room fell silent. I could feel everyone's eyes on me. Willow, my younger sister, stopped mid-bite of her chocolate cake. Dustin, our baby brother, shifted uncomfortably in his chair. Mom's hand covered her mouth in shock. That's ridiculous, I said, my voice steady despite the panic rising in my chest. I would never... I noticed how you kept looking at it, Clara interrupted, making comments about how expensive it must have been. Because I was happy for my brother. I stood up, my chair scraping against the hardwood floor. Liam, you can't seriously believe this? My brother's face was pale, his eyes darting between Clara and me. Did you take it, Lily? The betrayal in those words felt like a physical blow. How dare you even ask me that? Well, you have been weird about Clara since I proposed, Liam said quietly, not meeting my eyes. Always asking questions about her background, her family. Because that's what caring siblings do. I slammed my hand on the table, making the glasses rattle. I've known you for 28 years, Liam. She's known you for 10 months. Stop it! Clara burst into tears. This is exactly what I meant, Liam. She's always trying to come between us. Willow reached over to comfort Clara, while Dustin stared at his plate. The silence from my siblings hurt more than any accusation. Everyone calm down, Dad finally spoke up. Clara, are you sure you looked everywhere? Yes, she sniffled. I've checked 3 times. It's gone. She turned to Liam. That ring was so special. Your grandmother's diamond. My stomach dropped. The ring had belonged to our grandmother, reset for Clara. The fact that she would accuse me of stealing something so precious to our family made me feel physically ill. Lily, Mom's voice was gentle but uncertain. If you took it as a joke or to make a point, I can't believe this. I grabbed my purse from the back of my chair. I'm your daughter. I'm his sister. How can you all just sit there and let her accuse me of this? Then empty your purse, Clara suggested, her voice honey-sweet. Prove me wrong. The rage that filled me then was unlike anything I'd ever felt. I will not empty my purse like a criminal in my own family's home. The fact that you would even suggest that. Lily, please, Liam stood up. If you didn't take it, just show us. I looked at my brother, really looked at him, the boy who used to crawl into my bed during thunderstorms, who I'd helped through his first heartbreak, who'd always been my fiercest defender. Now he stood beside this woman he barely knew, choosing her words over our lifetime of trust. No, I said, my voice breaking. I'm not going to dignify this with a response. When you remember who I am, who we are as family, you know where to find me. I walked out of that dining room with my head high, even as tears threatened to fall. Behind me, I could hear Clara's sobs and Liam's attempts to comfort her. The sound of my family's silence was deafening. As I got into my car, my phone buzzed with a text from Bradley, my oldest friend. Still coming over to help me test that new board game? I typed back through blurred vision. Change of plans. Need a drink instead. Family drama. Will explain everything. Starting the engine, I caught a glimpse of movement in the dining room window. Clara stood there, watching me leave, and for a split second, I could have sworn I saw her smile. That's when I knew. This wasn't just about a missing ring. This was war, and she had just fired the first shot. You need to hear what she did. Bradley slid another glass of wine across his kitchen counter to me. Clara posted about the incident in the family group chat. I nearly dropped my phone pulling it out. Sure enough, there it was, a perfectly crafted message about how heartbroken she was, how she didn't want to cause family drama, but felt everyone should know what happened. She'd even included a photo of her bare ring finger. Unbelievable, I muttered, scrolling through the sympathetic responses. Even Willow, my own sister, had sent a heart emoji to Clara's message. My phone buzzed with a private text from Dustin. "Mom's crying. Way to go, Lily." "I'm going to be sick," I said, pushing the wine away. "How did this happen? 1 minute I'm helping plan my brother's wedding, and the next I'm the family pariah." Bradley opened his mouth to respond, but my phone rang. Unknown number. "Hello? Lily?" Clara's voice dripped with fake concern. "Can we meet? Just us girls? I think we need to talk this through." I put the phone on speaker, catching Bradley's eye. "There's nothing to talk through. You know I didn't take that ring." "Of course you did, sweetie, but I'm willing to be reasonable about this." She paused for effect. "Meet me at Riverside Coffee tomorrow at noon. I have a proposition that could make this all go away." I ended the call, my hands shaking. "Did you hear that? She's trying to set me up." "Or she's trying to bribe you," Bradley said thoughtfully. "You should go. Record everything." The next day, I arrived at Riverside Coffee 15 minutes early, my phone's recording app ready in my pocket. Clara walked in exactly at noon, designer handbag swinging, looking like she'd stepped out of a magazine. "Thank you for coming," she said, sliding into the seat across from me. "I ordered us both lattes." "Cut the act, Clara. What do you want?" She leaned forward, lowering her voice. $20,000. I almost laughed. "Excuse me?" "That's what the ring was worth. Pay me that, and I'll tell everyone I found it in the bathroom. You'll be the family hero again." She smiled, all teeth. "Everyone wins." "Except you're lying. You know I didn't take it." Clara sat back, stirring her latte. "You know what's interesting about your family, Lily? They're so trusting. So eager to believe the best in people." Her voice hardened. "Except you. Always asking questions, always watching me. Did you really think I wouldn't notice?" "What are you hiding, Clara?" "Nothing you'll ever prove." She reached into her bag and pulled out an envelope. 20,000, that's my offer. Take it, or things get much worse for you." "Worse how?" "Well, your mother already thinks you're jealous of my relationship with Liam. Willow mentioned your money troubles from last year. And Dustin, sweet Dustin, told me all about your ex-boyfriend's missing watch. Funny how things disappear around you, isn't it?" My blood ran cold. She'd been gathering ammunition all along. "You're insane," I whispered. "I prefer strategic." Clara stood up, leaving the envelope on the table. "You have until tomorrow to decide." "Oh, and Lily?" She paused, adjusting her sunglasses. "That ring you're so concerned about? It's not even the original. Liam never noticed I switched it weeks ago." I sat there long after she left, the envelope untouched, my mind racing. The recording in my pocket felt like a burning coal. Clara had just made a crucial mistake. She'd gotten cocky. My phone buzzed with a text from Bradley. "How did it go?" "She showed her hand," I typed back, "and I need your help. Time to find out who Clara really is." Another message came through, this time from Willow. "Clara's telling everyone you tried to bribe her to keep quiet about the ring. What's wrong with you?" I stared at my sister's message, anger and determination rising in equal measure. Clara was playing chess while everyone else was playing checkers. But she didn't know one thing about me. I'd always been better at strategy games than anyone in the family. I picked up my phone one more time, dialing a number I'd found earlier that morning. "Hello?" A woman's voice answered. "Is this Sophia? Sophia Owens?" A pause. "Who's asking?" "My name is Lily, and I think we need to talk about your sister Clara." The silence on the other end lasted so long I thought she'd hung up. Then quietly, "Meet me tomorrow. And Lily, watch your back. Clara doesn't play fair." "Neither do I," said, ending the call. "Not anymore." Sophia looked nothing like Clara. Where Clara was all polished perfection, Sophia sat across from me in worn jeans and a faded t-shirt, her hands wrapped around a coffee mug like it was a lifeline. "She's not my sister," were the first words out of her mouth. "Not by blood, anyway. Clara joined our family as a foster child when she was 16. Bradley, sitting beside me in the small diner, leaned forward. "And when did things start going wrong?" Sophia's laugh was bitter. "Who says they ever went right?" She pulled out her phone, scrolling through old photos. "Here, this was Clara 6 years ago when she was calling herself Catherine." The photo showed a younger Clara with dark hair, standing next to an elderly woman. "Who's that with her?" "Mrs. Reynolds, wealthy widow, no children. Clara was her companion for 8 months." Sophia's fingers tightened around her mug. "Until Mrs. Reynolds' jewelry collection mysteriously disappeared, along with Clara." "Did anyone report her?" I asked. Mrs. Reynolds was too embarrassed. "Plus, Clara's good at covering her tracks. She's had at least 4 different names that I know of." My phone buzzed. Another family group message, this time from Liam. "Found Clara crying in the garden. When will this drama end, Lily?" I switched my phone off. "Why are you helping me, Sophia? Why now?" She pulled something from her bag, a small notebook. "Because of this, I've been tracking her for years, trying to warn people, but she always stays just ahead of me." Her voice cracked. "My parents spent everything trying to help her, to give her a good life. She repaid them by emptying their retirement account." Bradley took photos of the notebook pages while I processed this. "Does she always target families?" "Usually. She says it's easier to manipulate people who want to believe in love and trust." Sophia's eyes met mine. "Your brother, he's a good person, isn't he?" "The best," I whispered. "Then he's exactly her type. She'll bleed him dry, Lily, emotionally and financially." A text came through from Bradley's phone, his contact at the police department. "Got something," he murmured, reading. 3 open fraud cases matching Clara's description in different states. Different names, same MO. "That's not enough," I said. "We need something concrete, something recent." "Wait." Sophia grabbed her phone again. "There was another family about a year ago, the Petersons. Clara was engaged to their son, too." She showed us a social media post. Clara, blonde this time, beaming next to a young man. She disappeared 2 days before the wedding, along with their family heirlooms. My hands were shaking as I wrote down the details. "Can you connect me with them?" "Already did." Sophia slid a piece of paper across the table. "They've been trying to find her. The mother, Janet, she's expecting your call." Just then, the diner's door chimed. I looked up to see Willow walking in. She froze when she saw me, then marched over to our table. "So this is what you're doing?" she demanded. "Meeting with strangers to dig up dirt on Clara? She was right about you." "Willow, wait," I started, but she cut me off. "No, you wait. Clara's the best thing that's happened to Liam in years. Why can't you just be happy for them?" Sophia stood up slowly. "You must be Willow. I'm Clara's sister." That stopped Willow short. "What? Clara said she was an only child." "She says a lot of things." Sophia's voice was gentle. "Would you like to sit down? There's quite a bit about your future sister-in-law you should know." Willow hesitated, looking between us. "I shouldn't—" "Just listen," I pleaded. "Then decide." Slowly, Willow sat down. As Sophia began sharing her story again, I saw doubt creep into my sister's eyes. My phone buzzed one more time. A message from Clara. "Tick-tock, Lily. Time's running out on my offer. Would be a shame if more things started disappearing." I showed the message to Bradley, who immediately started typing on his laptop. "Got it," he said after a moment. "The threat's documented, and I think I found something else. A marriage license from 2 years ago. Clara had a different last name, but it's definitely her photo." "She's still married?" Willow whispered, the color draining from her face. "Among other things," Sophia said grimly. "Keep looking. You'll find more." As Bradley and Sophia dug deeper into Clara's past, I watched my sister's face. The denial was crumbling, replaced by horror and anger. "Liam," she said suddenly. "We have to tell Liam." "We will," I promised. "But first, We need to make sure we have everything. When we confront Clara, we only get one shot at this. Willow grabbed my hand under the table, the first time she'd touched me since that dinner. I'm sorry I didn't believe you. I know. I squeezed her hand back. Now help me save our brother. Play it again, I told Bradley, leaning closer to his laptop screen. We were reviewing the video call we'd just had with Janet Peterson, Clara's previous almost mother-in-law. She cleaned us out, Janet's voice crackled through the speakers. 2 days before the wedding, she said she was going to pick up her dress. Instead, she emptied our safe, family jewelry, bonds, even my son's passport. Janet's face hardened. She'd spent months learning all our passwords, our routines, we never suspected. Willow, who'd been pacing Bradley's living room, stopped. The safe combination. Liam told Clara ours last week, said she needed to store some documents. My stomach dropped. Call Dustin, now. While Willow dialed, Bradley pulled up another window. Look at this. Marriage records show she's been married 3 times in the past 5 years. Never divorced. Dustin's not answering, Willow said, panic edging her voice. Try Mom. After 3 rings, our mother picked up. Lily, what's wrong? Mom, is the safe empty? Check right now. What? Why would I? Please, Mom, just check. We heard rustling, footsteps, then silence. Finally, oh my God. What's gone? I asked, already knowing the answer. Everything. The jewelry, your father's coins, all our documents. Her voice broke. Your grandmother's pearls. Willow grabbed the phone. Mom, listen carefully. Don't tell Clara you know. Where is she now? Out with Liam. They're looking at wedding venues. Mom's voice sharpened. What's going on? We're coming over. Don't touch anything else in the safe. And Mom, call Dad home. Bradley was already gathering our evidence files. I'll call my friend at the fraud department. The drive to my parents' house was tense. Halfway there, my phone rang. Dustin. You're not going to believe this, he said without preamble. I just got a call from my bank. Someone tried to take out a loan in my name. Let me guess. They had all your personal information? How did you... Lily, what's happening? Meet us at Mom and Dad's. Bring your laptop. When we arrived, the house was chaos. Dad was on the phone with the police, Mom was crying, and Dustin was trying to freeze his accounts. Only Bradley remained calm, methodically laying out evidence on the dining room table, the same table where Clara had accused me just days ago. Look at this, he said, pointing to his screen. Clara's real name is Amanda Pierce. She's wanted in 3 states for fraud and grand larceny. There's more, Sophia said, walking in through the front door. Just got these from my contact. She spread out more photos. Clara with different hair colors, different names, different families, different engagement rings. Mom picked up one photo. This was taken 4 months ago. She was already engaged to someone else when she met Liam. Where is Liam now? Dad demanded, hanging up with the police. As if on cue, my phone buzzed. A text from Clara. Clever girl, but not clever enough. Check your brother's bank account. No, 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 I muttered, calling Liam's bank. After some arguing and explaining, they confirmed our worst fears. His accounts had been drained an hour ago. Got her, Bradley suddenly shouted. Airport security cameras. She's at Terminal C. She's running, Sophia said grimly, just like always. Not this time. I grabbed my keys. Dad, stay with Mom. Dustin, keep working on freezing accounts. Willow, call the police back. Tell them everything we found. Bradley, with me. I'm coming too, Sophia said. I've waited years for this. We raced to the airport, breaking more than a few speed limits. My phone kept buzzing. Liam calling over and over. I couldn't answer. Not yet. Not until we stopped her. We sprinted into Terminal C just as Clara, now wearing a dark wig, approached the security line. Amanda Pierce! Sophia shouted. Clara froze, then bolted toward the bathrooms. I cut left while Bradley went right, blocking her escape routes. Clara spun around, her designer bag clutched to her chest, face twisted with rage. It's over, I said, stepping closer. The police are on their way. We have everything, the evidence, the photos, your real identity. You don't understand, she snarled. I needed that money. Those people, your family, they have so much. They never even notice what they lose. My brother loved you, I said, watching her flinch. That's what you made him lose. Police officers flooded the terminal. As they led Clara away, I saw Liam standing by the entrance, his face ashen. He must have tracked my phone. Our eyes met across the terminal. In that moment, I saw everything: his pain, his humiliation, his regret. Lily, he whispered as I reached him, I'm so sorry. I should have believed you. I pulled my little brother into a hug as he broke down, right there in the middle of Terminal C. The police station's fluorescent lights made everything look harsh as we sat waiting to give our statements. Liam hadn't spoken since the airport, just stared at his hands like they belonged to someone else. Mr. Mackenzie? A detective approached us. We found these in her hotel room. He placed a familiar velvet box on the table. Inside was our grandmother's ring, the real one. She never lost it, I said quietly. It was all a setup. There's more. The detective laid out several items: passports with different names, stolen jewelry, USB drives full of personal information. She's been doing this for years. You're lucky you caught it when you did. Liam stood up abruptly and walked out. I found him in the parking lot, sitting on the curb. I gave her everything, he said as I sat beside him. Not just money, everything. I know. She met Mom and Dad's friends at church, volunteered at Dustin's youth center, helped Willow with her art show. His voice cracked. She played us all. My phone buzzed. Another group chat message, this time from Mom. Coming to pick you both up. Family meeting at home. The drive back was silent. When we walked into the house, everyone was gathered in the living room. The evidence files still covered the dining table, but no one looked at them. The bank called, Dad said, breaking the silence. They've frozen all suspicious transactions. We might be able to recover some of the money. I don't care about the money, Liam muttered. Well, I do, Dustin snapped. She nearly destroyed my credit score, and Mom's jewelry. Dustin, Mom warned, but he continued. No, we need to talk about this. Liam brought her into our lives. He let her... That's enough, I stood up. This isn't helping. Oh, now you're defending him? Dustin laughed bitterly. After weeks of trying to prove Clara was evil? I wasn't trying to prove she was evil, I shot back. I was trying to protect our family. Stop it! Willow's voice cut through the argument. Look at us. This is exactly what she wanted, to tear us apart. Bradley, who'd been quietly working on his laptop, spoke up. You should see this. He turned the screen around. Clara, Amanda, whatever her name is, she's done this to 6 other families. Always the same pattern. Charm the family, get engaged, steal everything. 7, Sophia corrected from her corner. 7 families. Liam flinched. Mom reached for his hand, but he pulled away. I need some air, he mumbled, heading for the door. Let him go, Dad said when I moved to follow. He needs time. Time isn't going to fix this, Dustin argued. We need to... A crash from outside interrupted him. We rushed to the front yard to find Liam smashing Clara's left-behind belongings on the driveway. Liam, stop! Mom cried. Why? He hurled another photo frame. She's not real. None of it was real. I approached slowly, glass crunching under my feet. Liam, I was going to marry her. He sank to his knees among the broken pieces. We were planning our future, kids' names, house designs. Was she laughing at me the whole time? The neighbors were starting to peek out their windows. Dad and Bradley began collecting the scattered debris while Mom and Willow guided Liam inside. The detective said she's looking at serious prison time, Sophia offered. Between the fraud, theft, and multiple identities? Good, Dustin said firmly. My phone buzzed again, a message from an unknown number. Tell Liam I really did love him, in my own way. Like hell, I muttered, blocking the number. Inside, Liam sat on the couch, looking lost. Mom brought him tea he wouldn't drink. Willow showed him funny cat videos he wouldn't watch. Dad talked about pressing charges. Dustin paced. Finally, I sat next to my brother. Remember when I dated that guy in college? The one who cheated on me? Liam nodded slightly. Remember what you told me? That I deserved better. That someone who really loved me wouldn't hurt me like that. I took his hand. The same is true for you. But you warned me, he whispered. You saw through her, and I chose her over you. Because you have a good heart. That's not a weakness, Liam. Isn't it? No, Sophia spoke up. It's what makes you different from her. Better than her. Slowly, the family gravitated toward the couch. Dustin stopped pacing. Willow put down her phone. Mom and Dad sat closer. We'll get through this, Dad said firmly. As a family. A slightly poorer, much wiser family, Dustin added, managing a small smile. Liam looked around at all of us, then squeezed my hand. I'm sorry I didn't believe you. I know, I said. But next time you meet someone, maybe let me do a background check first? For the first time in days, Liam laughed. It was small and broken, but it was a start. 3 days after Clara's arrest, I was sorting through case files at my office when my assistant buzzed me. There's someone here to see you. Says she knows Clara? My heart skipped. Send her in. The woman who walked in was elegantly dressed, around 60, with perfectly coiffed silver hair. Are you Lily? I'm Margaret Reynolds. I recognized the name immediately from Sophia's photos. Mrs. Reynolds, please sit down. I saw the news about Clara. Or Amanda, I suppose. She placed a designer handbag in her lap. I should have pressed charges when I had the chance. Maybe if I had... You can't blame yourself? No? She pulled out a tissue. I let her charm me. I was lonely after my husband died, and she was so attentive. When my jewelry disappeared, I was too embarrassed to tell anyone. Before I could respond, my phone buzzed. A text from Bradley. Turn on the news, now. I grabbed the remote, switching on the office TV. Clara's mugshot filled the screen. Breaking news, the anchor announced. Amanda Pierce, arrested earlier this week for fraud and theft, has escaped police custody during transport. Mrs. Reynolds gasped. I fumbled for my phone, calling Liam. Straight to voicemail. She won't come back here, Mrs. Reynolds said. She's not that stupid. My office door burst open. Bradley rushed in, laptop under his arm. She used her one phone call to contact someone named Marcus. Police are trying to trace... Marcus? Mrs. Reynolds interrupted. Marcus Davis? We both turned to her. He was her partner, in everything. She shook her head. I only found out after. He poses as a financial advisor, helps her gain access to accounts. My phone rang. Willow. Lily? Some guy just showed up at Mom and Dad's house saying he's from the bank. He's asking about... Don't let him in! I was already grabbing my keys. Call the police, now. Bradley and I raced to my parents' house, breaking every speed limit. When we arrived, 2 police cars were already there. An officer was handcuffing a well-dressed man while my family watched from the porch. Marcus Davis, the officer confirmed. We've been looking for him. He had all our banking information, Dad said, looking shaken. If Willow hadn't recognized the fake ID pattern from Clara's files... Where is she? I demanded, approaching Marcus. Where would Clara go? He just smirked. Lawyer. My phone buzzed again. Unknown number. A text. You ruined everything. Now it's my turn. She's threatening you? Bradley peered at my phone. After everything? Another message came through, this time with a photo. My blood ran cold. It was a picture of Liam, clearly taken without his knowledge, at the coffee shop where he worked. She's here, I whispered. She's watching him. Bradley was already calling the police while I tried Liam again. Still no answer. I'm going to the coffee shop, I announced, heading back to my car. I'm coming with you, Willow said, jumping in the passenger seat. We sped downtown, scanning the streets. The coffee shop was busy with the afternoon rush. Through the window, I saw Liam behind the counter, oblivious to the danger. Then I spotted her. Dark wig, sunglasses, sitting in the corner, watching. Call the police, I told Willow. I'm going in. Lily, wait! But I was already moving. I walked straight to Clara's table, sliding into the seat across from her. Hello, Amanda. She smiled, cold and sharp. I wondered who would spot me first. It's over. Police are on their way. It's never over. She leaned forward. You took everything from me. My perfect plan, my perfect life. You mean your perfect con? You have no idea what it's like, she hissed. Growing up with nothing, watching people like your family take everything for granted. So you destroy people? Hurt them? I give them what they want, a beautiful dream. Not my fault they don't check what's real. Behind the counter, Liam finally noticed us. His face went white. He's still in love with me, Clara said, watching him. I could walk over there right now and he'd forgive everything. Try it, I challenged. See what happens. She stood up, smoothing her dress. Maybe I will. But before she could move, police officers flooded the shop. Clara's smile faltered for the first time. No running this time, I said as they approached. No more perfect dreams. As they led her away again, in double restraints this time, Liam came over, shaking. You okay? I asked. He nodded slowly. I saw her come in. I knew it was her instantly. I just couldn't move. But you didn't serve her coffee, Willow pointed out. That's progress. Liam managed a weak laugh. Baby steps, right? We watched through the window as Clara was placed in a police car. This time I had a feeling she wouldn't be escaping. Come on, I said, putting an arm around my brother. Let's go home. The courthouse buzzed with tension as we filed into the courtroom for Clara's hearing. 6 other families were there, all her previous victims. Mrs. Reynolds sat in front of us, her spine rigid. Sophia was 2 rows back, clutching a thick folder of evidence. All rise, the bailiff called. Clara walked in wearing an orange jumpsuit instead of her usual designer clothes. Her hair was back to its natural brown, making her look younger, almost vulnerable. She scanned the courtroom until she found Liam, then gave him a small, sad smile. I grabbed his hand. He squeezed back, hard. Docket number 47293, State versus Amanda Pierce, the judge announced. Multiple counts of fraud, grand larceny, identity theft, and escape from custody. The prosecutor stood. Your Honor, we have evidence of a pattern spanning 7 years, multiple states, and at least 12 victims. Objection, Clara's lawyer interrupted. My client was under duress. Overruled, the judge said sharply. Continue. One by one, victims took the stand. Mrs. Reynolds described losing her husband's watch collection. A young man talked about his emptied college fund. An elderly couple wept while explaining how Clara had stolen their retirement savings. Then it was our family's turn. Mom went first, her voice steady as she detailed the missing jewelry. Dad followed, explaining the financial damage. Dustin described the identity theft attempt. Willow talked about the manipulation. Finally, Liam took the stand. Mr. Mackenzie, the prosecutor began, please tell the court about your relationship with the defendant. Liam looked directly at Clara. I thought she was the love of my life. I trusted her with everything. My family, my home, my future. His voice cracked. She used that trust to hurt everyone I care about. Did you have any suspicions? No, but my sister did. Liam turned to me. Lily tried to warn me. Clara's response was to frame her for theft, to turn our family against her. Clara's face hardened at that. And how did you discover the truth? Lily never gave up on me, Liam said simply. She kept digging until she found proof of who Clara really was. She saved our family. When it was Clara's turn to speak, she put on quite a show. Tears, trembling voice, stories of a hard childhood. I never meant to hurt anyone, she insisted. I just wanted to belong somewhere. These families had so much love, so much security. I wanted that for myself. By stealing from them? The prosecutor challenged. By becoming part of them, Clara countered. The money, that was just insurance. Protection. Protection from what? From being abandoned again. She looked at Liam. Everything I felt was real. I felt Liam tense beside me. The judge cleared his throat. Ms. Pierce, you've demonstrated a clear pattern of predatory behavior, targeting vulnerable families and exploiting their trust. Your actions show premeditation, sophistication, and a complete lack of remorse. Clara's facade cracked slightly. Furthermore, your escape attempt and subsequent stalking of the Mackenzie family shows you remain a danger to society. The judge adjusted his glasses. I hereby sentence you to 15 years in state prison with no possibility of parole for 10 years. You will also pay full restitution to all victims. The courtroom erupted in murmurs. Clara stood frozen, then suddenly turned to face us all. You think this changes anything? She shouted. You all wanted to believe the fairy tale. You wanted the perfect daughter, the perfect fiancée, the perfect friend. I just gave you what you wanted. Remove the defendant, the judge ordered. As officers led her away, Clara locked eyes with me. You're just like me, Lily. Always watching, always suspicious. We could have been partners. I'm nothing like you, I said, loud enough for her to hear. I protect my family. I don't destroy them. The doors closed behind her, and suddenly the courtroom felt lighter. People began hugging, crying, sharing stories. Mrs. Reynolds turned to us. It's really over. Almost, Bradley said, appearing with his laptop. The police just found her storage unit. Everything she stole, it's all there. They're cataloging it now. Sophia joined us, tears in her eyes. 7 years. I've been tracking her for 7 years. What will you do now? Willow asked her. Go home. Try to help my parents heal. She smiled slightly. Maybe get some therapy. We should all probably do that, Dustin joked. But there was truth in his words. Outside the courthouse, our family huddled together in the autumn sunshine. Mom was already planning a celebration dinner. Dad was calling the bank about recovering funds. Willow and Dustin were arguing about who would make the toast. Liam hung back, watching them. I keep waiting to wake up, he said quietly, to realize this whole nightmare was just a dream. It wasn't a dream, I replied, but it's over now. He nodded slowly. Thanks to you. No, I corrected him. Thanks to us. All of us. Together. Together, he repeated, and finally smiled. A real smile, not the broken one he'd worn for weeks. Let's go home. You don't have to do this, I told Liam as we stood outside the prison visitors' room. No one would blame you for walking away. I need answers, he replied, straightening his shoulders. Real ones this time. Through the window, I could see Clara already seated at the metal table, orange jumpsuit stark against her pale skin. No makeup, no fancy clothes, no performance. Just Clara, or Amanda, stripped of all pretense. Want me to come in? He shook his head. I need to do this alone. I watched through the glass as my brother sat across from the woman who'd nearly destroyed our family. Their conversation was muted, but their body language spoke volumes. Clara leaned forward, eager. Liam stayed back, guarded. My phone buzzed. A message from Bradley. Storage unit inventory complete. Your mom's jewelry box was found. Everything intact. Another text followed from Willow. Dustin just got approved for a new apartment. His credit score recovered. Small victories. Pieces of our lives falling back into place. Through the window, I saw Clara slide something across the table. A letter. Liam didn't touch it. That's new, Sophia said, appearing beside me. She usually doesn't write to her victims. How are your parents doing? Better. Dad's back at work. Mom's joining a support group for families of con artists. Sounds like a bad joke, right? We watched as Liam stood up abruptly. Clara reached for his hand, but he pulled away. When he emerged from the visitor's room, his eyes were clear. She wanted me to wait for her, he said. Said 10 years isn't that long. What did you tell her? That I already wasted enough time on beautiful lies. The drive home was quiet until Liam spoke again. You know what the worst part was? Not the money or the jewelry or even the lies. It was how she made me doubt everything I thought I knew about love and trust. And now? Now I know that real love doesn't ask you to choose between it and your family. He smiled slightly. Real love is what you did. Fighting for the truth even when everyone doubted you. We pulled into our parents' driveway. Through the window, we could see the family gathered for Sunday dinner, a tradition Clara had nearly destroyed with her accusations and manipulations. Look what came today, Mom said as we walked in, holding up her grandmother's pearl necklace. Good as new. Better than new, Dad added. Now we know its real value. Dustin was showing Willow his apartment listings while Bradley typed away on his laptop, still tracking down loose ends from Clara's cons. The dining room table, once covered in evidence files, now held dishes of food and family photos. "Oh, and this came for you, Lily." Mom handed me an envelope. Inside was a check from the Victim Restitution Fund, along with a note from Mrs. Reynolds. "Thank you for being braver than I was. This is for your next investigation. I have a feeling you found your calling." "She's right," Bradley said, reading over my shoulder. "You'd make a great private investigator. Partner?" Before I could answer, Sophia burst through the door. "You need to see this!" She thrust her phone at us. On the screen was a social media post from one of Clara's other victims, a support group for families affected by romance scams. "They want us to speak at their next meeting," Sophia explained. "Share our story, help other families spot the warning signs." "Turn tragedy into purpose," Willow mused. "I like it." "We could help people," Liam said thoughtfully. "Stop this from happening to other families." "Is that a yes?" Sophia asked. I looked around at my family, bruised but not broken, wiser but not hardened. "It's a yes from all of us." "First," Mom interrupted, "dinner. Some traditions are worth keeping." As we gathered around the table, our table, reclaimed from painful memories, I noticed something different. We sat closer now, passed dishes with more care, listened more intently to each other's stories. "Hey," Dustin said suddenly, "remember when Clara used to do that fake laugh at all Dad's jokes?" "They're not that bad," Dad protested. "They really are," we all chorused, then burst out laughing. Real laughter, the kind that heals. Later, as dishes were being cleared, Liam pulled me aside. "That letter Clara gave me? I didn't read it." "No?" "No, but I wrote my own." He handed me a sealed envelope. "For the support group, about how sometimes the biggest act of love is telling the hard truth, even when no one wants to hear it." I hugged my brother, feeling his strength returning. "Ready to help other families?" "Ready," he said firmly. "Together." From the kitchen came the sounds of family. Dishes clinking, stories flowing, lives mending, not perfect, but real. And in the end, that's what Clara never understood. Real love, real family, real trust. They don't need beautiful lies. They just need truth, time, and each other.